Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review. Oh, if you remember around last year, in a fit of somewhat anger and somewhat sadness, is as Cody did not finish his story last year. Honestly, I was more puzzled, if anything. Hey, I don't necessarily know about angry. A bit disappointed. If that makes me a Cody crybaby, I'm fine with that. But anyway, in my fit of sadness, I reviewed another time where someone should have finished their own story. Against the big bad Addy. When I reviewed Sting versus Hollywood Hogan at Starrcade 1997, and where Sting captured the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, but it wasn't without its chicanery, a potential mess up, although whether or not it was intentional or if it was intentional to make Sting look bad is still a subject of debate. But with Cody now having finished the story, you may be wondering, hey Nigel, did Sting ever win in the WCW Championship cleanly? From Hogan, and uh, and uh, and did Sting finally conquer the Hulkster? And my answer to that is kinda. I'm of course talking about Sting versus Hollywood Hogan, the rematch at SuperBrawl 8, 8 WCW SuperBrawl 8. That is. So as always, I'm not professional wrestling reviewer, analyst, or anything like that. Just made it just a good time, and I kind of had an okay time with this one. So without further ado, let's get right into it. If you've seen these reviews before, you kind of know how this works. If you haven't, I'm going to be talking about what I liked and disliked about the match. So I'll kind of to fill in the in between as to what's going on here. So we did review Sting versus Hollywood Hogan, as I alluded to. We reviewed that at last year. We reviewed their match at Starrcade '97, and Starrcade '97, and if I'm not mistaken, was the most bought WCW pay per view of all time, and one of the reasons for that was the 18-month build between Sting and Hollywood Hogan. So to see it kind of crumble to pieces is in a way was pretty disappointing. But this is the do-over, or this is the do-over. This is the chance for them to do it once again. But because of the quote unquote controversy that surrounded Sting winning the World Championship, and by controversy, they obviously talk about the Nick Patrick botch question mark. This match was made. The WCW World Heavyweight Championship was vacated, so now here's the rematch to see who truly will be the WCW World Champion, whether it be Sting or Hollywood Hogan, and 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 if I, and so that's kind of how we got here. As for what I liked and disliked, starting with what I liked. I at least the thing is, you kind of knew what to expect from these two. Quite a bit of it mirrors their match from Starrcade '97. Was it better than the match Starrcade '97? I wouldn't say so, but they did their parts for the most part. And Sting beat Hogan with some help from Macho Man and Randy Savage. Of course, Hogan can't lose clean, I mean, I guess to that point, in other news, the sky is blue and the grass is green. Yeah. So, what is some interference with Savage? But you may be asking, Nigel, wasn't Randy Savage a part of the NWO? During this point in time. I'm glad you asked. First of all, why are you asking so many questions? But also, yes. Savage is a part of the NWO. But during his match with Lex Luger earlier, Savage tried to sway away his NWO companions, and Hogan called off the troops and was like, hey, like, you know what? Yeah, we'll leave Savage on his own, and Savage was beaten by Lex Luger earlier on in the night. So Randy Savage, which Randy Savage had kind of been teasing, splitting from the NWO up to this point, and was with the NWO under duress. You can tell not really wanting to be a part of the NWO. But I think that was stipulation because, if I'm not mistaken, he was off TV for a time, and the only way he could come back was if he joined, at least in kayfabe, that is, if he joined the NWO. So kind of didn't want to be there in the first place anyway. Hey, but yeah, so Savage Edge helping out Sting, decking Hogan with a spray paint when everyone else came in, and of course there was outside interference because of course there were people were running in to attack Sting, but Sting was fighting them off, and Savage hit Hogan with the spray paint can. First of all, the spray paint can was completely in black. Why, I have no idea, but also the camera almost missed it. Like they were showing Sting fighting off everybody else, that the camera almost missed Savage nailing Hogan with the spray paints. But Sting, he does win. He doesn't realize it first, but then sees the spray paint can. It's kind of like whatever, and they get to celebrate and everything. Another thing worth mentioning is that at first, Charles Robinson was the referee, but he's taken out. Nick Patrick is in, and Nick Patrick for a time was the official NWO referee. But this time, showing no bias, he's calling it down the middle. He was reinstated earlier in the night, but wasn't going to be in the main event. So naturally, he comes up in the main event because that's just how wrestling works. But calls it down the middle. And I do like Hogan's selling of Nick Patrick calling down the middle, has his counter stuff. Hogan super exaggerated, what? Why aren't you counting faster? And Nick Patrick being upset with Nick Patrick for not counting faster, or even though Nick Patrick is not part of the NWO anymore. Although when you're NWO, you're NWO for life. If that is now, I think that's not the fourth time. Excuse me, I think that's now the fourth time I've made that joke / reference on this channel, but anyway, so Nick Patrick calling it down the middle. So essentially, this time around, how no favoritism from Nick Patrick, and that's set in stone, not even implied no favoritism. No, this time straight up no favoritism, which is kind of it is what it is, but nevertheless. Sting does get the win, and the good guys go home happy, I guess. In terms of what I didn't really like about this match, like I said, I don't think as good as their encounter at Starrcade '97, and one of the reasons being, it's ironic because, as what I'm about to mention, and also happened at Starrcade '97, and I didn't really like it then either. Hogan, I think, gets way too much offense in. Hogan dominates a good maybe 80% of the match, and then Sting fights back. He does whip Hogan with his own weight belt, which is nice, I'm sure. Or somewhere I'm sure somewhere Rocky Maivia a young Rocky Maivia is taking notes. Although I think he was The Rock at this point in the Nation of Domination, but. Excuse me. Nevertheless, Sting does whip Hogan with his own weight belt, but otherwise Hogan gets way too much offense in on Sting. Sting hardly hits anything back. It's mostly all Hogan, and because of course he is, as it's just insane how, and maybe for once it wasn't his call, although I highly doubt it, but it's amazing how Hogan is, what's the proper terminology I'm looking for here? It's amazing how Hogan, in his biggest kryptonite, is looking weak even for a moment. Even guys like Roman, who usually look strong, know when to look weak. Hogan had such weakness. Didn't work for him, brother. But yeah, it just gets way too much offense, and Randy Savage coming in was nice, and it sets up, the it kind of sets up more of like Randy Savage's defection, like that tension between in him and Hogan, but otherwise, it also it also is kind of weird look for Sting because it makes it seem like Sting needed help to put away Hogan. Granted, Sting didn't like call in the troops. He didn't call in Randy Savage. Randy did it on his own accord, but is kind of a weird look. But again, I probably can't blame it all on Hogan. Like I said, for once it probably wasn't his call. Although if we're being honest, it probably was. But nevertheless, that is going to do it for this review. At least Sting got to somewhat beat Hogan clean and not have be in as much controversy. It went from a lot of controversy to just a hint of controversy. No, this isn't a Vince Russo booking because Vince Russo is still in WWF at this point. Yeah. But anyway, hey, that's going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see as soon as it drops. And let me know. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the video, my review. Did you and your thoughts on the match? Did you like the match? Did you like my review of the match? Let me know. Would you believe this is the first WCW review I've done so far this year? Or I may or may not get a couple more under my belt, and maybe some ECW ones before Off a Month next month. So if I'm able to, cool. If not, then we can always review them afterwards. But I'm surprised it took me so long into the year to get a WCW review under my belt. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.